Alright, so this is going to be my second attempt at making a video for my YouTube. And I was going to show you guys how I tune my knives. And this is probably a pretty standard knife, I'd say. The rep is, because pretty much everyone's got a rep of some sort. A lot of custom reps are out there right now, I've seen. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna tune this rep today. It's already got a good tune on it. There's nothing wrong with it. I just wanted to take a rep apart because it's probably one of the, like I said, most common knives. But pretty much what I do is I like to have like a paper towel as like a little placemat type of thing. I mean, of course you could probably just use something else, but you know, this works. And then, you know, I just tear off the other half and use it to like clean inside the, you know, little parts and everything. But that's pretty much it. Got my T8, got another T8 here just in case. T6 won't need it for this, but I generally do like to keep it in this little, you know, little hole there for the screwdriver. Just so I'll have it on me. And then this is actually a T10, but I made it into a little poker. It's actually pretty useful. You never know when you need like a little poker for something. But yeah, got my T8, T10. Carbon Honey, not sponsored, but definitely a great guy. I do like this lube a lot, actually. Previously, I kind of thought that all lubes were kind of similar or the same because, you know, they're all going to do the same job. But I don't know. This seems to be a little bit better than anything else I've tried. So I like using Carbon Honey. But pretty much, I guess I'll just get started. I generally just do one handle at the time, and I'm gonna do a full disassembly because usually what I'll do is I'll only like take just the handle off and then clean inside of it. But if you want to like fully clean it, I guess I'll do that. All right, and tip, if you can't get these out, just do this. Kind of push it to the side to give tension on it, and then it'll come right out. Same thing applies for when you're taking it and putting it back together. Pretty much, I like to keep everything the way that it was already in the knife. If you see me struggling a little bit, I'm trying to not let that washer fall here. There we go. And since this is kind of a new rep, it's kind of difficult, so you might have to like pry it a little bit to get some of the parts loose, which isn't great. Yeah. Pretty much you're gonna deal with this on any of the new ones like you'll get. Once you take it apart a few times, it's gonna stop being so tight, but this one is relatively new, or the parts for it are, because I actually just built this one out of parts rather than, you know, just getting it. Because I bought the blade and I was like, well shit, I might as well buy some handles. Put that there so it doesn't blow away. And I usually just do one handle at the time. I just wipe the old lube off of it. And then just do the same thing with your liners and scales. And if you've got like blood or anything on it, you know, obviously you're gonna clean this a little bit deeper. I'm just kind of briefly disassembling this today because it was already pretty decent. It wasn't like I really flipped it much or anything. Then as far as your Zen pin goes, usually I like to do this, kind of like thread it inside of the Zen pin, just in case like any lube got in it, you know, and you can kind of see it comes out dirty on the other end. So I mean, you could probably make this a little bit cleaner if you use like alcohol and stuff like that, but it's not really necessary for today because it's not that bad. And then you just do the same thing with the pivot as well, because the pivot will get a little bit in it. It'll generally get a little bit more. See how it came out looking dirty. Almost lost a screwdriver there. Move that. And then I make sure I'm not making it to where it's like different placement, because the placement of the washers and the bushing does matter. So like I said, usually I'll keep like the bottom one on the bottom of the bushing and then just keep the top one over here. So your washer placement really does affect it. I know a lot of people who get like reps or whatever and they've got tap, and this is not just reps too, a lot of knives actually, if you replace the washers, that can actually help a lot. So sometimes it is just that, so definitely keep that in mind. And what I like to do here is when I'm assembling it, I like to go ahead and put the back one on for the Zen pin, because I don't want to, you know, drop the Zen pin out or anything while I'm trying to put this thing together. And let's see, go like this. And then usually what I'll do is, okay, well I actually caught that, which is pretty cool. But usually what I'll do is I'll hold my pinky over these bottom screws, and I'll hold my index right here. That way, you know, nothing can fall off. But as you've just seen, that didn't really work out too great. But yeah, just keep it level like that. I mean, there's really no way that's right to do this. It's kind of all how you personally like to do it, and like personal preference, stuff like that. But I'm just showing you my way of doing it. Relatively simple. Make sure. And then I'll usually put the bottom screws in first, because sometimes you're not able to fully tighten these, and you have to do that trick where you kind of have the liner over to the side. Like this one actually right here is not tightening, so I'll have to do that. But let's see. Okay, that one did tighten, but I'm still gonna do this so I can, and that's exactly why I went ahead and put the screw in, because when you do this, sometimes you'll lose that, and then, you know, it's kind of a whole headache to try and get it back in there. But that and that, and they're both tight. You just kind of place it back over here. Then I actually won't put this Zen pin screw, the top one, in first. I won't put that in until I'm sure that the tune is pretty good on this, because I may have to take it back apart, and that's, every time you have to take it back apart, it's one less screw you got to put back in it. So okay, we seem to be pretty good there. Okay, so not in this regard. And then sometimes your blade might be off-centered. If you kind of bend it a little bit like that, it should be centered again. It'll probably be fine when I put some lube in it. Usually lube does get rid of a little bit of tap. I'm not really gonna spend too much on it because I'm gonna have to take this thing apart anyways to put different scales on it later, so let's see. Kind of work the lube in a little bit. I think it's worked in pretty decently. See, like I said, it got rid of the tap on the safe handle. That's also why I kind of prefer thick lubes rather than the thinner lubes, is because they tend to work a little bit better in that regard, and makes it just feel tighter. Like there's the play. But yeah, now I'll do the opposite handle. But I'll pretty much do it the same way. I don't think there's a reason in going through the whole thing again just to show you guys that, but that's how I tune my reps, and hope that that was actually helpful to a few of you.